past few weeks, I've been having these feelings that like mum's been with me and sort of like guiding me. And I've known this for a very long time, like ever since she passed. But more recently, I feel like she's really with me. Like maybe like they didn't go anywhere. Maybe the people that leave us, the loved ones that you know go ahead, maybe they don't really go off to some spiritual world that we cannot reach. Like what if?
Just the spiritual world that we can't see.
The unseen world.
Like that woman who just came up to us.
Literally just came. He's upset. You wanna sit here? Come sit here. Charlie.
Not happy. I don't think I've had anyone approach me just randomly in a long time, trying to evangelize, I guess you say.
Would you have continued the conversation before this whole, like, I guess, journey of discovering spirituality and stuff?
I don't think I would have if you weren't in the picture at all.
Why do you think you kind of heard them out this time?
Yeah, I just wanted to see the signs.
I think I always thought of signs and wonders as something that was like, could be true, maybe not. You know, like sometimes depending on my mood, I would think, oh, what a coincidence. And then sometimes I'd be like, oh, that was so divine, like that was supposed to happen. And I'd always kind of switch between the two. But I'm starting to sort of consider that everything might just, in every single moment, everything is perfectly the way that it's supposed to be. And if you think of it that way, then everything is a sign. Like, because the fear hasn't worked for me, you know, not knowing and never understanding it has always made me feel more fearful about something. I'm sort of trying the other way. What if these are all signs? Then let's figure it out. Let's see where it takes us. Let's see how far it leads me. And so far, ever since I've started that kind of faith journey going, oh, you know what, everything's a sign, everything has led me to the next thing. Like there are things that I could not have planned. Just happens, you know, which is so exciting. You could go anywhere.
I guess that's why it's good to be able to take something out of nothing.
Not just that, not just taking something out of nothing, but making good out of bad. Like bringing life from death. That's the craziest thing that I keep seeing, you know. The way that people start living when they understand what death is. Like the way that my mum completely changed when she realized that her time here is limited. Like she really started to live. She started to do the things that mattered to her, the stuff that made her happy, the stuff that she wanted to do for her loved ones. She just did it. There was no fear.
How did she, tell us about your mum, I guess, you know, like what happened?
Mum was a really beautiful person. And she was not perfect. She had her insecurities, things that triggered her as a mum. I remember these little characteristics and little things that made her her. Like she'd always be rushed and late to things. And she'd, you know...
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I know where I get it from. Yeah, she'd be like always in a rush and really hurried, and that would kind of... She'd have a short fuse because she was always like kind of stressed. She'd always be juggling so many things because she had twins. I didn't realize how hard it was for her, but yeah, she just had a lot on her plate all the time, and you could tell. Sometimes she'd let out her anger and she'd, you know, she'd lose it, absolutely just lose it at us. And she'd project her fears. And I know this now because I am a mum myself. And that all changed when she was diagnosed with cancer. When I was 7. I think that news really shifted something in her. Like she realized that she was not immortal. She realized that her time here was limited, and like that whole idea of understanding that you are going to die allowed her to live. So one night I remember it was like really late, like 8 p.m. or something. And she was like, oh my gosh, I feel like pizza. Let's just go to Bondi and just get pizza. And obviously my sister and I was like, what? Like, we never do that. You know, we don't go anywhere.
Like ever.
We just always eat at home. And, you know, it was like a very unusual thing that she would just spontaneously want to do something like that. And so we went. Like, all of us got in the car, we drove to Bondi and we had pizza that night. We ordered so much that we had to join 2 tables together. And I remember that very specifically because it was so out of the ordinary. And over time, as she was going through chemo and as her body started to really deteriorate, I guess, she started to lose her hair, and the fact that she was sick was becoming a real reality. I saw that shift, that as she accepted her fate, maybe, I just started to see her come to life, and this boldness that came with it.
I do kind of feel like she sent that woman down to speak to me. When I first saw her, you know, Korean old woman, kind of reminded me of your mum, like her face. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing now. My mum, like, she would literally just go out to the streets and start talking about what really matters to her, like the fact that we are spiritual beings in a human body having a human experience. She really wanted people to understand that, you know, if we can all understand that this isn't the end, like, we're not just bodies, there's something after that, maybe we could start living without fear the way that she did. Think about that a lot, like how she could just have switched like that. There was some sort of truth that she really understood, and she believed in it no matter what anyone said.
What do you think that was?
I always thought it was faith in God. One of the last things that she said to Janice and I was, no matter what happens, don't turn your back on God. Don't turn against God. It doesn't matter how hard life gets, just trust, is something that she said to me. And you kind of just think, yeah, it's good to believe in God, it's good to have hope in a high power, and, you know, but this wasn't something that I understood completely as a 15-year-old. Mm-hmm. And over the past, I guess, over 20 years, I've just been on a journey of understanding what it means to be in a position where you want to turn against God. You know, life got really hard, and I remember the first time seeing, you know, the bandage off, and, you know, things like the first time seeing her, like, with her bald head, and yeah, these were the moments that made me realize that, oh, she's like really sick. She might not be with us for a long time.
When did you know that she was going to die?
Not until she had 2 weeks left. Yeah. For 7 whole years, it was a journey of going to the hospital, on the way to recovering, and then, oh, really bad again. And then she'd go back and, like, do chemo and come back, and then, like, it was a whole cycle of not knowing whether she was getting better or getting worse. Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
Are you afraid of getting cancer as well?
Now that my kids are my age, when Mum got diagnosed, it's all becoming a reality, and I can't help but think, like, wow, what if I actually did get cancer? Like, and I start thinking about the trips to the hospital, and, you know, like, if I think about that kind of stuff, yes, it does scare me a bit. But if I focus on how it changed my mum and the way it continues to have a ripple effect on my life and my sister's life, my dad's life, my children's life, then I start to kind of understand, oh, like maybe there is something much more than just a sickness. Like maybe there is something that my mum understood because she was sick, you know, as opposed to somebody who is healthy and thinks that they're never going to die.
Does that make you want to take care of your health more?
Yes, this definitely does. I think make me wonder why I have put my body through so much pain and suffering. Because I understand that this body is a gift. Like, this is something that is carrying us in the time that we are on this earth. And what have I been doing to it? Just like putting it through like these crazy diets, really harming myself, beating myself up for not looking a certain way. You know, just all these things that were real fears to me. I look back now and I just have compassion on myself. Like, my poor body, what did it ever do to me? We grow conscious of our body image, and I think many people, young people, believe that they're not good enough the way that they are. Whether you're skinny, whether you're not skinny, whatever you are, you're made to believe that you're not enough. Like, it's not okay. So no one's really ever happy with their body, unless you understand why it's important to take care of your body.
And do you feel like you understand that now?
I'm not 100% there yet. That's being really honest. For 37 years, I have really abused my body. You know, I had an eating disorder.